we need these three measurements: the waist measurement, the hip measurement, and also the length. Now we take the waist measurement and divide it by 2. We take the hip measurement and divide it by 2 and then add 3. And then we take the length measurement and we don't change that, it stays as it is. Now cut a rectangle of paper. The length should be the length that you want your skirt to be, and the width should be the measurement half hips plus 3. Now draw 2 horizontal lines across the rectangle. They're at 22 centimeters and 52 centimeters. The line at 22 centimeters represents the hips, and the line at 52 represents the knees. Now take the rectangle and fold it in half lengthways and make a nice crease, and in half again, which I've done earlier. So you see you get 4 sections. Now we're going to cut on these lines from the bottom up to the hip line, and then from the top to the hip line, but we don't cut all the way through. We're going to leave a little section uncut there. Now we have the cut strips. We need to place this piece of paper on top of another piece of paper, like so. To make an A-line skirt, we need to add 10% at the knee. This means we take the width of the pattern, which in this case is 56 centimeters. We find 10% of that, which is 5.6 centimeters. So we need to add 5.6 centimeters in the 3 gaps that we now have on the knee line. So we divide the 5.6 by 3, that gives us 1.8666, but we can say 1.9 centimeters. So in each of these gaps here, we need to add 1.5 centimeters. This means that at the top it's going to overlap, and we simply fasten that down with sellotape. So we can begin just by securing one edge with a little tape, and then here at the gap we need to add 1.9 centimeters. So we're going to bring that in and secure that with tape, and then the same on the other 2 gaps. So now we've opened our 1.9 centimeters in all the gaps. We go to the top, and where these overlap, we're just going to press them down neatly and sellotape them closed. Now we need to outline the skirt, which means drawing all around the edges, all the way around, including the lines that we've got. We need to mark the lines on the underpaper and the hip line. I'll make a full outline of the new shape now. Okay, now we've outlined the whole thing, as you can see. The lines all the way around. We've marked the knee line. I tend to take my pen and where the hip line is, just really make some indents, and then when we take off these pieces we should be able to see those marks. So let's see now what happens when we take off the strips. So this is what we get. We've got an outline. We've got some little marks there for the knee line that we need to join up, and also the indents don't show, but we're going to join up the indents for the hip line, and any little gaps that we've got in the outline we need to close up. Once you've drawn all the lines, you can cut it. Okay, now we're cut out. We need to fold the pattern in half lengthways to give us 2 sides. So we need to fold it in half lengthways, make a nice sharp seam there, and the crease down the middle now represents the side seam. This side represents the centre back, and this side the centre front. So now you need to draw a line to mark the side seam. Now we need to reduce the top of the pattern to fit our waist. So first measure the pattern So now we're left here with around 52 centimetres. For this skirt, the half waist measurement needs to be 42, so we have to lose 10 centimetres. The typical way is to lose half on the side seam, so we need to take out 5 centimetres on the side seam. That's 2.5 either side. We mark 2.5 centimetres either side of the side seam, and we're going to run this down right to the hip line here that we've marked. Roughly like this, but we don't want it to be a dead straight line, it's going to be very slightly curved. Yeah, so here we've got a straight line that we used as a guide, but then the actual dart line we've got ever so slightly curved down to the hip line. Now for the remainder of the waist reduction, we still have left 5 centimetres to lose, and we're going to take out 1/3, which is approximately 1.7 centimetres in the front of the skirt, and the rest we're going to take out in the back of the skirt. So in the front of the skirt first, we just need to find the halfway mark of here, which is here, and then from here we're going to draw a dart that's 1.7 centimetres deep, and we're going to take it down to approximately 12 centimetres. So here we have the dart 1.7 by 12 centimetres in the front. We're going to do the same thing in the back, but we take 2 darts in the back, evenly spaced. So there we have the back darts. So now our pattern is basically ready. We simply need to trace it onto pattern paper and add a seam allowance around the edges. So here we have the back piece outlined. There we can see the darts. In this tutorial we're not going to have a centre back seam, so we've marked here this little symbol means cut this edge on the fold. We don't need to add any seam allowance on this side because this will be a fold, but we're going to add 1 centimetre for the top and the side seam, and for the hem we'll add 2 or 3